You remember how we met.
I do. In fact, it's very entertaining. In 2017, I wrote an article for the Weekly Standard about the kneeling controversy in the NFL and Colin Kaepernick, and you took it on the 5 and you quoted from it, and you called me Matthew Betley. And I sat there watching this at home in Maryland, like, there goes my moment, it's all over. And I actually taunted you on Twitter for it, but I don't think you ever saw those tweets, or at least I hope you didn't.
Well, I apologize, Matthew Betley. But then, I guess I started following you, but you're an Iraq War vet.
I am.
And you had some trouble with the VA, and you were writing for townhall.com, which is, I think, how we then reconnected.
It is.
Tell us a little bit about that story.
So in 2007, when I returned from Fallujah, within a month.
Not an easy place to be.
No, it was not, especially from 2006 to 2007. I was there when it was, Al-Anbar province was like the worst place to be. The camp was taking incoming on a regular basis, and people were dying all over the place. I left and redeployed home the week before the surge actually started. And so I wasn't there to see it turn around, but I heard that a year later, it was a completely different place. Like, you could literally walk down.
I have to say, if I could interrupt you, because I remember going to Al-Anbar province with President Bush in September of '07. And about a year later, when I was press secretary, the surge gets underway. And I used to get, when I was press secretary, about 85% of my questions were foreign policy related, usually war related. And by about August of 2008, July, it all tapered off.
Yep.
And I knew that things had to be getting better because the media was no longer asking me questions about it.
Yeah, no, it did. I'd get updates from my friends who were still there, and they'd be like, oh yeah, no, you can literally walk down the streets like no problem in downtown Fallujah.
Let's talk about the pace of this book. I read it in a weekend. I read pretty fast, but it does feel like you're on this adventure and this mission with your main character, Logan West. This is your 4th book.
It is, and we're hoping that we've reached that point where we're building a big enough following that the series will really take off. But when I sit down to write a book, I want to I want to put you on a roller coaster ride for 400 pages nonstop, a very intense, emotional, gripping, visceral experience so that you're exhausted by the time it's over. And that's what I've tried to do with every one of my books.